Woke up this morning, coffee in hand, flipped on the screen, my favorite man. Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with obsidian and flint. He's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack, building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients who thrived back in the day. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit, finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories, buried in the ground. Each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. He's shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives on through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, hello. Looks like the music is over. Right in the middle of me trying to draw something. Yeah. So yeah, no overshot tech. Let's see, what else can I put on here? Well, we'll do that for now. Yeah, okay, so tonight is a challenge night, but I'm going to finish something out that I started yesterday, or I was planning on starting yesterday. I'm going to make one of those hell gaps. All right, so let's see. Let me turn to the correct page. Hell gap, JKH, Howard County, Holland. This is one of them fancies. Yeah, hell gap. Yeah, one of these. All right, so that's what. Let's see. How about there's one right there. Actually, these got better illustrations on this side. Okay. So, who do we have in the chat? I need my glasses a little bit. I can see, but it's a strain to look at that without my glasses. Who do we have? Jorge Valadez is the first one. JV is the first one. Then Chris Lithic. Alan Cole is here. Marty. I think I saw that it was Marty's birthday today. Happy birthday. Dockenstein is here. Chris Lithic. How's it going? Mac Bales. Jeremy says hi. AM Outdoors, good evening. Chris Lithic. Yeah, I said hi already. Let's see. 46 years old. Ask for Corn is here. Hey. Hey, Pat. I'm in your former stomping grounds in West Texas. Oh, dang. Very interesting. I send my condolences. Yeah. Throwcessive is here. He sent a gold coin. Alrighty. Let's see. AM Outdoor sent a gold coin. Steve Salzgiver is here. Chris Cox says howdy. Perry Goes Ken is here. Yep. Durden91, is that AI music? Ugh. Yeah. Are you still here? Ugh. Let's see. Mr. Jim is here. Dockenstein. Andrew Humphrey. Hey, Jack. How's life going? It's going good. Perry Goes Ken. Yes. AM Outdoors. Happy birthday and anniversary. All right. Everyone's saying happy birthday. Happy birthday. Carlos says, I like something or other that I'm probably going to put you in timeout if you like that stuff. Mike Mason is here. Dakota Horn. Hey, Dave. Perry Goes Ken. Chris Lithic. Hello, everybody. Okay, we've got 23 people. Perfect. Yes. The less people we have, the more I can talk freely, because everybody knows everybody. Yeah, we don't have to forget about the inside jokes. We don't have to talk in generalities. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start right away with indirect percussion. Yes. None of this billet bopper stuff. Let's see if I can knock this out in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe I'll make 2 points instead of 1. What's the material? It's a lower quality Georgetown. Or it's Edwards Plateau chert that looks like Georgetown. This is good on this side. This is good Georgetown on that side and bad Georgetown on this side. Yeah, that's what it is. It's good and bad in the same workpiece. How is that even possible? I don't know. Nature is that way. Sometimes what seems impossible is what actually is happening. Yeah, it's funny how nature does that. Yep. It seems impossible. It goes against everything you've ever been taught. Yeah. Isn't that weird these days? They used to teach things that were true, but now they teach things that are fantasy. What does that got to do with the rocks? Well, people say that Georgetown is freaking awesome. So you take it as all Georgetown is freaking awesome. But is that true? No, it isn't. And stuff that looks like Georgetown sometimes is not. It's just a gray Edwards Plateau chert that's similar. Naps, and it naps differently, and the heat treats differently. You get different results, etc., etc. So you can't judge a rock by its cover. It's right there. And in this channel, we have no overshot tech. Overshot tech does not exist on this channel. Nope. And someone was complaining about the intro music being AI. Well, I have no choice, actually, if I want to use it for free. I don't get no copyright strikes. And if people are bugging me, they say that I'm using their music. No. I know it's BS if they email me that I'm using their music because it's AI. So that's BS. Yeah. I'm not stealing anybody's music. And those of you who don't like AI music, that's fine. But if you're fussing about it, don't make us listen to your fussing. Go fuss on another channel. That, Jack Crafty over there, he sold the soul to the devil and he's playing AI music. I'm never going to go over there again. Okay. There you go. Make sure you don't come back over here. You got to be a man of your word. Yeah. If you're going to leave and never come back, then never come back. Alrighty? All right. Okonu says, you can have my music, but it's not worth a lot. Well, it depends on how it sounds. If it sounds good, it's worth something. Yeah. You can send that samples to my email. I have my email address on my channel. Yeah. I don't have anything against AI music because most of the people that produce the AI music are musicians. Yeah. Yep. So why is this napping so well? Because I've had a lot of practice. This stuff doesn't nap well. I know how to abuse it. Yep. I know its weaknesses. Yeah. I know what triggers it. All right. Besides, I'm working on the good side right now. But I had to flatten that good side. It was too rounded. Yeah. It breaks my heart to remove the good stuff, but it was too rounded, too convex. There is such a thing. It's called being lumpy. Yeah. I'm going to have trouble with the flakes not traveling. Yeah, on a poor quality Georgetown, the flakes don't travel very well. It looks like they should. Everything is going good. It looks like it should, but then it doesn't. So I've had many nightmares with Georgetown. It starts going good and then it doesn't. Until it doesn't. Yeah. Andrew Humphrey says, how come every time I watch your channel I want to nap? I don't know. Maybe because it's like yawning. Yeah. Maybe. It's suggestive. It's like yawning. That's what it is. Yeah, maybe you got the fear of missing out. You think you might be missing out on something. Yeah, missing out on hitting some rocks, getting out some frustrations. Yeah, it's kind of good for that. Oh, that was a good flake. Lucky. Yeah. Nice, nice. Yeah, all these flakes are nice. Let's see if the law of averages is not going to catch up to me yet. It always catches up to me, these law of averages. There's got to be a bad flake in there somewhere. I'm not controlling the initial conditions all that well because I'm just opportunistic. So if it looks okay, I'll take a flake, even if it's not that great as far as the surface contours. Yeah, so I don't always choose the best spots to hit. Sometimes there are no best spots. They're all kind of weird and not good. So then I gotta try to modify the edge a little bit to make the edge stronger for the flakes I want. Sometimes. Usually if I just knock off the delicate areas, the opportunities present themselves. Okay, so I go over the whole edge because I'm going to nap the whole edge. I don't want to be stopping and starting and stopping and starting with this stupid grinding. Yeah. Yeah, I say stupid because it distracts me. Yeah, it breaks up my focus. Anything that breaks up my focus and interrupts me is stupid. Wait. Does that apply to people too? What do you think? What do you think? Who is the best interrupters of all? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who are the best interrupters of all? I wonder. Other than my own brain, sometimes my brain just changes the channel on me, so I can't stay focused for very long. Yeah, I'm grinding it a lot because I'm going to hit it pretty hard to make sure those flakes travel. But see, it starts to do the weird stuff. It starts to do the weird stuff. Yeah. That's the nightmare of this low quality Georgetown. It works good until it doesn't. Yeah. There we go. Except, you know, I can't always be hitting it that hard, especially when it gets thinner. And I need to make it more narrow anyway, right? So let's start making it more narrow because we're going to work on... We need to make a hell gap. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. So it doesn't need to be this wide. And yeah, I'm not upset about making it more narrow and losing all this material, because that's what they used to do back in the day. Yeah, they start with a big piece and they only need to make something narrow. Yeah. Are there preforms and bifaces for hell gaps? Hell yeah. They're fat, thick, as far as I remember. Similar to most paleo stuff. The bifaces they start out with are pretty fat and thick, or wide and thick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this with the abrader because that's what causes my abraders to become very small very quick. But I can't help it. I like using the abrader to hammerstone the edge. It works quite well, I think. But this is kind of a shortcut. Yeah. You can't take some shortcuts. I'm a bad influence, though. I try to take more shortcuts than I should. Eric Kitty is here. Let's see. Who's PGK? Oh, Prairie Ghost Ken. Okay. One-Eyed Dog is here. Hey. Who else did I miss? Who else is here? Who else? I'm checking the chat. I can see you. Has anybody been putting time out yet? No? Okonu1 says, I just write the lyrics. I don't play any instruments. Oh, I see. Well, send a sample. Your stuff might be really cool. Okay? And if you're into Flintknapping, you can write lyrics related to Flintknapping. Or not. Doesn't matter. So I don't know how these AI programs work for generating music. I guess there are templates, you know, because there's templates for everything these days. So you just pick a music style template, maybe, and then write the lyrics, and it'll write the music for you. Maybe. That would be easy. I should do that. That's all I need is one more subscription to something else. Yeah. I suppose there's free applications with in-app purchases or ads and in-app purchases. Yeah, that's what I don't like. So I probably have to subscribe to something. I subscribe to YouTube just so I don't have to see ads. Yeah. I got YouTube Premium. So I don't have to see no ads. We don't need no stinking ads. And yeah, I monetize my channel. See, look what it does. You know, I try to do something good. I tried to do something good, right? That even disturbed the little alien that I made. Okay? Just said I made a little alien. It disturbed. He's looking at that. Looking at that. No. Not good. Look at that. It's acting stupid. Okay. We'll see. Yeah, my alien tutor, he says it's ridiculous. Why did I do that? Yeah. He'll be inspecting my work from time to time. Yeah. Oh, come on. Let's get this done. Oh, look at that. See? A lot of force, and it went to there, and it went in the correct direction, but it stopped for no reasons. No reasons to do that. I need to get one with the middle finger. Yeah. I bet you there is one too. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Starting to recover. What do you think, little alien? Is that good? Let's see. Is it good? Yeah, not impressed. Yeah, there's still some wonkiness. He was not impressed. All right, so I gotta thin down the base. All right, I gotta thin this stem and base down, and then we'll go from there. I gotta flatten this a little bit anyway. Let's see. Maybe not so big flakes. Tone it down a little bit. Jorge Valadez gave me a super chat. Uh-oh. $19.99 for a pointy middle finger fund. I shouldn't have said anything. Let me see. I can buy it right now then. Yeah. I won't see that money for a month, but let's see. Because I already got paid. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Let me see if I can find one of those middle finger pointers. Because I think I know where there's one. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I'm just going to take a wild guess and look. It doesn't look. Oh, I spoke too soon. There's one that goes on your finger. I could put it on the end of a stick. These are all just regular, normal. Yeah. But there's some that have the middle finger. Wait. Is that it? No. There's got to be somebody that sells them. Yeah. Not on Amazon, right? Except for those little rubbery ones. Maybe in the options. Let's see. No, it's just normal stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be putting time out for my own live stream. Yeah. I'm just curious. They're not for sale there. I'll probably be able to see one on Etsy. Let's see. I'm just curious. Hold on a second. This is my live stream. I can do what I want. Wait a second. I haven't installed Etsy on this. Oh, I know how I get to it. I've already got it saved as one of my windows. Yes or no? That's all right. Yeah, if I can't find it in 5 seconds, it's probably not worth it anyway. Okay, so what are we going to do? Yeah, I'll put in timeout myself if I do that. But I was just curious. That's what I feel like sometimes. When the rock doesn't behave. Yeah. See, it goes good until it doesn't. It doesn't like to be nice and smooth. It's so weird. And people say, Georgetown's awesome, dude. It's so awesome. I recommend it to everybody. They say it's awesome too. Of course, they don't know any better, but they say it's awesome. Yeah. So awesome. I don't have this kind of trouble with other materials. It needs to be heat treated, yeah. It naps a lot better with heat treatment if it's this kind of Georgetown. Yeah. So, but this is a challenge tonight, right? So I have an excuse to keep napping on this crud. Yeah. See if that did something. That did something. It's not too bad. Let's see. So I think we can leave it fat in the middle, except for those defects. I got to take that out. I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible, and then we can start shaping it and leave it thick. Yeah. I'm thinking it's supposed to be thick, but maybe not. All right, so did that do it? Big old flake right there. Yes? Or did we make a curve? It's starting to get curved. I gotta thin it down even more now. Yeah. But at least we got rid of that junk. Yeah. High price to pay? Yeah. Probably right about that. One good thing about this type of Georgetown, it's not snapping halfish. It might be finicky, but it's not snapping halfish. So I don't know what's worse, being finicky or snapping in half. I think being finicky is not as bad. Snapping halfishness is like one of the worst things possible. Yeah. Let's see, debauchery says, using that abrading technique, let's see, using that to knock off any loose flakes while prep something or other. I guess the YouTube cuts you off if your text are too long. I didn't quite catch it. Or something interrupted you. Yeah. I bet you got an interruption. An interruption. I hate those. While you were trying to type, you had an interruption. Yeah. Or you got that narco sleepy stuff and you fell asleep. Now you gotta wake back up. Random thought, yes. I get these random thoughts. Why would somebody not finish typing? First random thought pops in my head. Oh, they've got the narco sleepy. Yeah. You mean the narcolepsy? Yeah, the narco sleepy. That's what I said. Yeah. See, did you try typing it again? New comments? No. Yeah. I'm sorry if I missed some of the conversation in the chat. What am I missing in the chat? There's some stuff going on in there. Let's see. I'm trying to joke around. Is there serious stuff in the chat? I need to stop joking around. Let's see. Did you say putting time out? Yeah. Time out is an excellent thing. Yeah. I actually like putting people in timeout because they deserve it. Yeah. Especially if they're like 8 or 9 years old and it's past their bedtime. Yeah. They start making all these wisecracks in the comment section. And it turns out they're only like 9 or 10 years old. What are you guys up to? It's late on the East Coast. It's like 10 o'clock. Unless you're in California, I guess. Tommy Taylor says hi. Glenn says, I understand the abrading, but the stick that is used to chip off pieces, I need to know more. Oh, this? this copper rod, it's called an indirect technique, indirect percussion technique with a supported horizontal punch. This is a supported horizontal punch, which means it doesn't fall away when you hit it. It stays put. It's called indirect percussion. Yeah. So it's not just the stick, it's the mallet and my knee. Now, I invented the behind the knee stuff, but I did not invent indirect percussion as a general technique. There are many ways to do indirect percussion and different ways to hold a rod. You don't have to hold it the way I hold it. I just like to hold it behind my knee because I'm able to do it. It's easy peasy, but you can use a strap. You can even hold it under your belly if you got a belly. Yeah, or you can have an assistant, little elf on the side over here holding the stick or holding the rod. It's a 3/8 inch copper rod. This one is, but I also use 5/16 diameter. Okay, you can have someone hold it on the side over here and watch while you're napping. Yeah, you can have an assistant. You can have a strap. You can even hammer it into a post standing up next to you. Well, maybe not hammer it into it, but it's got to have a pivot. But you get the idea. It's got to be supported. That's why I call it a supported horizontal punch. There are other horizontal punches that are not supported. They fall away every time you hit it. Some of the older YouTube videos have those. I tried that for a while. I did not like it at all. No, not enough freedom. No. I like being able to quickly recover and attack fast. Do this kind of stuff. Tap, 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 tap. If this thing fell away every time I tapped, this would take forever. So I'm being careful now with the shape. Because if I mess up the smoothness, as it gets thinner, I'll have less chance of correcting that. So I have to be more and more careful as I go. So the process slows way down if I want it to look good. Now, I don't have to slow it down if I don't care about the looks. I can just make something real fast. And it's not going to look that great. Yeah. My skill level didn't change. It's just if you do it faster, faster usually causes you to fudge it. Yeah. Fast causes fudging. Yeah. Let's see. There should be a rule. For anybody of any skill level, fast causes... Oops. My brain's like runs ahead of me. Causes fudging. F-U-D-G. Fudging. All right. Fast causes fudging. I think that's how you spell it. My brain is not working that good today. Yeah. I managed to get most of the shipments out. Well, not most. Half of the shipments. But I was having trouble with the addresses. Yeah, making typos with addresses today because my brain wasn't working right. My brain is like Georgetown. It's highly variable. Yeah. And just when you least expect it, it starts to act up on you. Yeah. I hate that thought, though. I share commonality with this Georgetown. Yes, I do. I hate that. I don't want to share any characteristics with this stuff. No. Mr. Jim says he wants to hold a spear and walk up to the mammoths like the pictures. You got to walk up to the mammoths with hardly any clothes on. Don't forget, you need a spear and hardly any clothes on. And long hair that's not tied back. It's just flowing in the wind. Long hair flowing in the wind. That could possibly get in your eyes. But if the mammoth sees that your long hair starts to get in your eyes, the mammoth goes, oh, okay, dude, I'm going to wait. You got to brush that hair out. Pull it back, dude. Come on, bro. So that's why they used to have long hair like that back in the day. Yeah. Everybody knows. You go, time out. Hair needs to be fixed. Yeah. What are you talking about, dude? You know, I thought the AI music was bad. Your sense of humor is like stupid. Are you still here? Yeah, that's my question to you. If you're thinking that way, are you still here? My sense of humor went out the door a long time ago. As far as being relatable, I don't think that many people relate to my sense of humor, but I don't know. The people that stick around, I guess, are putting up with it. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I don't goof around if you see me in person, I don't goof around in person. Yeah, I'm pretty boring. Oh, yes. I enjoy watching people. If I'm around people, I tend to just watch people. I'm entertained by watching them. I don't feel like I need to be the entertainer. I'm entertained by watching the people. Yeah. But when I'm on a live stream like this, I got to talk about something. Because nobody likes silent live streams. I mean, I shouldn't say that. No one here in this crowd likes the silent live streams. On other live streams, you can be silent all day long and get thousands of views. But on this type of live stream, for some reason, people don't like the silent ones. No. They don't understand napping unless you say something. They can be looking right at it and they don't understand what's going on. Until you say something. It's a funny thing. Because they'll say, what are you making? What are you doing? So they want me to say something, and then they go, oh, okay. Now I see that you're chipping some stones. Okay. Now I see you're chipping it. But before you said that, I didn't know what you were doing. So I said, what are you doing? Right? That's the way it works, right? Yeah, your skills make it easier to make it through your humor. Yeah. And but you're just kidding. Yes. Wink, wink. I know. When someone says they're just kidding, but the truth, it sounds like it's too true to be false. It's probably true. If I wasn't having success at this, you'd probably change the channel immediately. Yeah. Immediately. Okay, is that working? My alien tutor is not going to like this. I got to hurry up and fix this before he shows up again. This is not what the aliens taught me. Oh, look at that. It does that. I shot the flake in the other direction and it does this. What is it doing? It's trying to be sneaky. It was trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to shoot the flakes this way, right? And it just takes a detour into this area. Now what am I going to do? It scooped it too much right there. I was going this way, right? Yeah, I was going across. I'm not supposed to scoop it. Yeah, it's not narrow enough though, right? I'm trying to make sure that I get a smooth surface before I narrow it too much and lose my opportunities to get a smooth surface. It's better if I have more width, but it's starting to have diminishing returns. Okay. it's better to have more width because of the possibility of ring cracks and mess ups near the edge. If you get a ring crack, you have to take a lot of the edge back to make it straight again. But I'm just going to have to live with it if I get one of those, because I'm already going to take this back just so I can get closer to these obstacles and I don't have to run long flakes. I thought I could run long flakes on this, even though it's kind of finicky. It's not going to let me do it. I mean, they're going to take detours like that? I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it just needs to be brown with the file, and maybe it wants maybe it's fickle, right? It wants the file. Yeah, that's what it wants. Yes. Okay, so let's try that. The file puts a finer edge on it, a finer surface on the edge. Well, that didn't do it. See, that flake went right there, but it didn't go anywhere. It just stopped. It had a ridge and everything. It had a fat spot and everything, but it stops. And I hit it harder than the one that was down here. I hit this one harder than this one. The edge was filed, and nothing happened. See? See what I mean? Jelly bean. Could be this too. This could have been contaminated with rock dust from the last strike. Oh dang, I just chipped the edge. Okay, I gotta stop messing with this. I gotta get serious. See, it's still really, the edge is still really wonky. I've got to straighten that out. I'm not able to do much with this area. Yeah. Okay, so let's just remove the edge. Get closer. And focus a little bit harder on that obstacle. Now, the fast causes fudging is a rule no matter what your skill level is. So you can make yourself look like you have less skill by going faster. Okay? As, you know, the end result. If you didn't see the guy napping it, right? If you didn't see the napping process, and then you look at the result only, someone might say that's very poor quality work by someone who's not skilled. But they didn't see the process. The process might have been very fast. And fast causes fudging, so what it does is it makes the result look like it's from someone with low skill level. Okay? But they don't teach you that in archaeology school, I suppose. Same skill level, but different results depending on speed of manufacture. Now, that's understandable with every other handicraft except Flintknapping, apparently. Apparently. See, people get weird around Flintknapping. Like I was saying yesterday. Or maybe I'm just too deep into Flintknapping and I notice all the weirdness. I don't know. I'm over analyzing. Aaron Wilson says, I hit a piece of elevate so hard today, its cousin at the quarry snapped in half. Mm-hmm. What? Well, yeah. If your cousin at the quarry is a female, you can hit this so hard that Mama had a baby and her head popped off. That happens too. Mm-hmm. It's hit so hard that the mama's baby had a little bit of a head detachment. Man, I need to drink water. Hold on. Man. I guess the humidity is making the phlegm come up. Yeah, because it just rained earlier. It's not raining anymore, luckily. But it rained just like maybe an hour ago. Sometimes when it's really, really humid, the phlegm starts to come up. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what causes all that. Oh, I've been working on bows too, so I need to start wearing my masks when I work with certain wood. Yeah, if I work with Osage, I get soreness in my lungs, so I gotta wear a mask. The last time I was working with Osage, I was just making little foreshafts or little handles, knife handles, and I noticed it. And I was like, dang, I forgot about Osage Orange or Bow Dark. I gotta wear a mask with that stuff. I do anyway. I've got some Osage that Jesse sent me. I need to start working on that one. I don't have very many dry pieces that are good, but that one's good. Where do you buy Osage staves? Where do I buy them? If I buy them, I buy them at the Tennessee Classic in Chapmansboro, Tennessee. Twin Oaks Bow Hunters. If I buy the staves. A lot of times I get staves for free as gifts. Yeah. Because like rocks, I'll take a challenging stave and try to make something out of it. But if I buy it, yeah, it's from that Knapping in Tennessee, where it's actually a bow shoot and Knapping together. I almost bought one from my friend Scott at the Tennessee Classic, but I didn't have the money. I mean, I had the money, but I would probably have to figure out how to make more items for the auction to cover my gas payments, and I wasn't about to do that. Yeah. I don't like to rush the auction items. Let's see. Twin Oaks, yeah, Twin Oaks Bow Hunters. They have an annual shoot. Well, they have many shoots during the year, but this one is a Knapping and a bow shoot open to the general public. Lots of people selling Osage staves there, but you can buy Osage staves on eBay. That's an old source. I think they're still doing it. Last time I checked, they were. I bought Osage staves from eBay. They're okay. You know, as long as you're good at spotting defects in the wood from a photograph. So some guys can judge from a photograph pretty good what's going on with the stave. But yeah, I don't do that too often. I don't like it when that does that. See that? It's terrible. Dang it. It ruins it. It makes it look terrible. There seems to be nothing you can do about it. Except keep picking at it, and it ends up being too thin. Yes, there is such a thing as too thin if you want to make a reproduction of the real ones. You don't want it too thin because then it looks too modern. The thinness these days is a requirement. Yeah, it's like it has to be thin these days, or you're not serious about napping. That's the way the culture is. But if you want to make a reproduction, many times these are not thin. These are robust, sturdy, and durable, and thick. Like if you put that on the end of a spear with that thinness, that's going to snap right off. So this is not realistic. I don't think they were this thin. I could be wrong. But I keep trying to repair these defects, and every time I do a repair, it gets thinner and thinner. Yep. See, and it behaves a lot of times. But that one time it doesn't behave is the kicker. It kicks you in the butt. Yeah, I'm grinding the heck out of it. It likes the file. Yeah. It likes the edges that the file creates. Except when it doesn't. But you play the odds, you know. You just have to play the odds. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Then you just go, oh well. If it doesn't do it, it's like, oh well. Depends on the material. You have to adapt mentally to the material so you don't go crazy. Stuff will drive you nuts. Yes, he's behaving, but I'm afraid of the law of averages, or the law of the West. One of them is going to catch up to me. Either the law of averages or the law of the West. What's the law of the West? The law of the West is when you hate to do something, but you're just going to do it anyway. Hate to do this to you, but it's the law of the West. So I got the flake scars that I wanted. I just need to finish the tip. It's a little bit too thin because I was trying to take care of defects. I think these are supposed to be fatter up here anyway, right? Toward the middle. I'm just going to thin down the tip a little bit more and then sharpen everything. And then grind the base. There's no notches because we don't need no stinking notches. Yeah. Who says we need notches? We don't even need Buenos notches. Yeah. So we got these long flakes. I see some long flakes in the photograph. Let's see. Kind of sort of see long flakes. Yeah. So I got some long flakes. How did I get those? By getting used to the stone and, you know, making sure that I have good convexity. I probably won't be able to do another pass like that because it's flatter now. But when it has good convexity, you can get the longer flakes because they like the convexity. That's my only explanation. So I was able to go chew, 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 chew on a nice convexity. Now it's too flat to do that again. I will not be able to do that again. Like if I go in between those, they won't do the same thing because it's flatter now. Yeah. So I like it. I just want to make sure I don't break it. It can break. Oh yes. No notching on the hell gaps. Hell no. There's no notching on these. I'm looking at the symmetry. I need to take some flakes here on this side. It's more bulbous on this side. So I need to take some flakes off in the other direction. Okay. I say bulbous instead of saying an increase in convexity. I don't know why. There's a bulge. How about bulges? It's bulging. Right there. So I got to take that down for symmetry. Yeah. You don't know who symmetry is? We do a lot of things for symmetry on this channel. Yeah. Wait, symmetry is a who? Yeah. Symmetry is a who. From Whoville. Let's see here. It's not gonna do it without the proper edge. Yeah. Bilateral symmetry. There you go. Somebody knows these terminologies. Somebody knows the vocabularies. Yeah, Explorer says, me and symmetry were not on speaking terms. Yeah. You're not on speaking terms, so you don't ever speak those terms anyway. Yeah, you don't even mention the word symmetry. Nope. You don't mention the terms because you're not on the same terms. Right, right. How about if we just sharpen it with percussion and skip the pressure flaking altogether? How about that? How about that? Yeah, like that. I'm glad it's not acting up. It's not too late to jinx myself, though. What's today, Tuesday? I do have to send out some packages tomorrow. Yes, but they're mostly packed up already. They're mostly packaged. I had to do some errands today, so I was not able to go to the post office early enough. They don't like me anyways that much because I go at the last minute. But yeah, I was hurrying to get in there. Still didn't get all the packages. But yeah. Usually I can get all the packages out by Tuesday, 5 p.m. from the auction. Unless something goes wrong. Unless it starts acting like bad quality Georgetown. Unless, fate starts throwing stuff my way and acting like bad quality Georgetown. Okay, I just need to look in the book. I need to take this down a little bit more. It's not supposed to be that fat up here, so I'll take it down a little bit more when I'm sharpening it. Yeah, that's when I'll do it. Doesn't take much. It's kind of incurvate a little bit. Yes, so I'm going to make it a little more concave when I do the edge work. When I sharpen it, I got to make a concavity in there. It's not supposed to be straight. Yeah. But I'll do that when I do the pressure flaking. Maybe I'll be able to send in a couple pressure flakes in this area. I don't like the way that looks. It's a little glitch. Yeah, it's a little glitchy. I might be able to unglitchify it right now. If I play my cards right. Let me just clear up some of this other stuff. I can probably do 90% of the edge work with percussion on one of these. Which is a relief because it takes less effort physically. Maybe not mentally, but physically it takes less effort to finish these out if I do everything with percussion. Yeah. There's just enough of a bump there that I could probably get a lot of that steppiness out of there. All right, it likes the file. But I shouldn't be using that file. That's my best one. Yeah, let's use this one. I don't like the triangular ones. The round ones I like for notching. I'll abuse these triangular ones for the edge work. Yeah, like that. Gotta be sneaky. Let's see. Don't tell it what I'm gonna do. Oh, I tried to do something. It tried to do it. It shirked its responsibility. See, it's supposed to fan out in both directions, and it's not supposed to be only half fan. See, it half fanned it. I hit there, it's supposed to fan out in both directions, but it said, no, I'm not going to do no damage control. You kidding me? Yeah, nothing. Let's see. Ooh, it got minimized. Yeah, gotta be sneaky though. Let's see. How is it? How is it? Okay, he's inspecting it. Not impressed. There's still some there. That's what it is. There's still some there. Yeah. But it's better. I like it better. It's okay because I like it. Yeah. All right, let's see. Just a couple more flakes to symmetritize it. Okay, here we go. Yes. Okay. I think that did. Yeah, we're one step closer to the symmetritizing. Ah, it didn't do it. Law of averages, don't catch up to me yet. No, not yet. Just wait a couple more strikes and then you can catch up. Okay. See, the law of averages only lets me get a few good strikes in a row. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. I'm not going to push my luck. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's symmetrical. Well, it's getting there. It's about as good as I can expect. Yeah, it's a little bit too much, but it doesn't look all that bad. Yeah, that's good enough. I like the flake scars. Yeah, especially on this side. Yeah, side A and side B like usual. And now I just got to sharpen it. And I will use some pressure flaking, yes. I think I see pressure flaking in the book. It's got some little persnickety edge work. Yeah. On some of these you can't see. Yeah. You can see some persnickety edge work. On some of them. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we'll do. We'll get persnickety on it. But not too much. Where is the pressure flaker? I'm not going to check the chat yet. I can see you guys are chatting with each other. There goes Ken. There's let's see. Yeah, side A and side B. There's a way smaller percentage of them in out west here, but I'm always on the lookout. You looking for these? Let's see. Hodge says, would seem fun to get into eventually. Yeah. If you like self-torture, it's a lot of fun. I shouldn't say that to people who are looking to get into it. But just fair warning, right? You gotta have some sort of little mechanism in your brain that can put up with torture. Yeah. Some people, they can put up with torture. They say, that's all you got? That's what you got? That's it? That's the kind of attitude you need to have. As a Flintknapper. It starts to give you trouble and you go, is that it? That's all you got? That's it. Dang. I've seen rocks much better than you. Much tougher than you. You think you're tough. I've seen rocks that are twice as tough as you, at least. Oh, yeah. And I bet them to my will. Oh, yeah. And I will break you. Yeah. I will break the stone in one way or another. That's it. You met your match. That's what you got to have as an attitude in Flintknapping. Yep. Wait, I thought you said there's little kids in here. You're not supposed to teach little kids that. They know me. Yeah. At least some of them know me. The ones that don't know me, I don't know what they're doing out of bed. They're supposed to be sleeping. Yeah. What you doing out of bed? On your computer. This is late night. This is late night napping. This is a late show. When you sharpen it, does the edge get as sharp as a flake's edge? No, it does not. The flake's edge is the sharpest edge, and there's no way to nap that. It's just, it happens when you remove the flakes like this. These edges on here are the sharpest you can possibly have on a stone. You can't nap edges like that unless you're napping the whole flake. Then you can call it, yeah, I napped those edges because they napped the flake. What you talking about, Willis? Okay, fine. But yeah, they'll never get that sharp. So that's why the most common artifact of all is what? The utilized flake. By far, the vast majority of all artifacts are utilized flakes. By far. Exponentially more than stuff like this. This is special items. These are specialty items. Most utilized, I shouldn't use the word utilized. Most artifacts that were tools are not these. They're flakes. Utilized flakes. You can look it up in the archaeological record. How common are utilized flakes? Is that the most common artifact possible? And the answer will be yes. That's the most common artifact, a utilized flake? Yes. But the internet culture. No exceptions. That's what it is. The utilized flake by far is the most common artifact. But the Randalls, they're not gonna like this. Nope, they're not gonna like it. Explore Florida says thank you. Who are you saying thank you to? Throw Sessive says at least you're showing consistency. Let's see. Glenn says I should be a great napper. I have a whole life of failure. A whole life of failure in your 14 years. You're like 14, right? I'm guessing. A lot of these guys sound like teenagers. No offense. If you're only a teenager, things can change. Brains, they change. Oh yeah. You can go from not being able to do nothing to, dude, how did you do that? I don't know. My brain changed, I guess. Something happened. Hormones? Yeah, it's the hormones. Your acne stopped and your brain started to develop. Yeah. That's what happens. But if you're already like in your late 40s or something, I don't know what to tell you. Except, sorry. My condolences. Yeah, you don't want too big of a point on your ladle dart. Right. And make sure you use, let's see. Pointer says, make sure that you understand at let's see, at ladle and at ladle dart. These are not the same thing. Okay? The at ladle dart is like a big arrow. This at ladle dart. At ladle is a thing that looks like, sometimes looks like this. It's got little finger loops. It's got a little hook or something. All right? Now, don't be making fun of this drawing. Yeah, because I'll come after you. I will. I'll come after you in spirit. I'll haunt you. Don't make fun of this drawing. At ladle. See? At ladle. At ladle. At ladle dart. And wait for it. Wait for it. There's a foreshaft on most at ladles. On most at ladle darts. Now you got me saying it. What is it? I need an arrowhead. Anyway, this is an at ladle dart foreshaft. So they have foreshafts in the front that are inserted into the main shaft, right? So foreshaft, main shaft. And I think this down here is called a shaftment. I forget though. Something like that, where the fletching is. And sometimes they're separated. Sometimes you got a division. Okay, so the foreshaft is separate many times. In fact, I think most of the time the foreshaft is separate from the main shaft. But you can also have a separation between the shaftment and the main shaft, with a socket here and a socket there. Some of the basket maker darts in the basket maker culture of the Southwest have 3-part at ladle darts. Okay? So, this is the lesson, boys and girls that are new. You guys have been watching my channel. I hope you're not making this mistake. At ladle dart. Don't forget the word dart. Dart. Okay? All right. All right. So here we go. Whoa, a blunt? Where was the blunt? This? Did I show that? No? This is a broken tip, but you can call it a blunt if you want, or a scraper. Let's see. Does it fit this? Almost. Let's see. Let's see if I have something that'll fit in. And then we can call it a blunt. And then everyone will be going, oh, that's an awesome weapon. This is such an awesome weapon that you made. Yeah, it's a blunt. Yeah. Sure. Okay. I'll let you have it. I'll let it go. I'll let it go this time. This time. Because you're new, you know. Forgive them, for they know not what they know not. Okay. And yeah, there's such things as blunts. But they don't look like that. And they don't look like this either. Hafted scraper, yeah. It looks like a hafted scraper. It's a broken arrowhead. It's a broken little dart point. Anyways. See, I don't know how fancy these edges are on these. I've never seen one of these in real life. And I've never bought a cast of one of these hell gaps. I don't think. No. They just seemed like easy peasy stuff, so I never bought a cast to study this type of point. All right. So you got that ladle and that ladle dart, the difference between the two? I know that there's some channels on YouTube that don't make a distinction. They just call everything an ladle. Everything. That's an ladle. That's an ladle. The four shafts are ladles. Everything's an ladle. And sometimes even these things are ladles. Believe it or not. Yeah, they make mistakes. They're so used to calling everything ladles, they even call the projectile points ladles too. My mistake. Yeah, did you watch the video where Ryan Gill killed the bison with the ladle? Yeah. He used one of these, right? He beat the bison over the head with the ladle. Yeah, he beat the bison over the head with the ladle. You didn't see it? Or wait a minute, did he use one of these to kill it? See, he makes that mistake in calling this an ladle. So that I think that's where it gets propagated. I like Ryan, but he makes that mistake. Yeah. But you can beat something over the head with the ladle and kill it. You can kill someone with, you can kill things with the ladle. But the ladle dart's supposed to be doing the killing, not the ladle. How do I get it to break so straight? With practice. Yeah. And I'm not even kidding. It's practice. Because I don't even know how I do it. It just, you get used to it after a while. Yeah. How long have I been doing this? That's the next question. At least 15, 16, 17 years. Since 2009, so that's 17 years. Yep. I actually started making that little bitty arrowheads in 2007 with a pair of pliers and a screwdriver, but I made gravel mostly for the first 2 years until 2009 when I started to actually use proper tools. Started to get more serious about watching videos and trying to actually focus on making good stuff. I was suffering for a while. I started with natural tools only also. Well, yeah, screwdriver and pliers, not natural tools. When I got serious, like in 2009, I started using only natural tools. And I didn't have a good time doing it until I discovered heat treating and copper. Yeah. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. I really did not enjoy the natural tools, although I use them. Still to this day. I have some videos that I put up every week now. Live streams where I use natural tools to try to get back into it. So I can get better at using natural tools. But there's limitations to the natural stuff. You just got to work within the limitations and the lamentations and limitations. And practice, practice, practice. Do you think knapping abilities are embedded in the human DNA? No, not embedded. Because people that they're not exposed to it, they're not going to do it. Yeah. You have the ability to do it. but it doesn't emerge naturally. You've got to actually see it. I mean, in an emergency, I guess you can invent it by accident. The necessity is a mother of invention. So you can invent it over and over again after losing the technology, yes. But there has to be something that triggers it. It doesn't come naturally. And it's not, you know, what about natural talent in doing flint knapping? Well, it has to do with natural talent in doing any kind of handicraft. Some people are more handy than others, so to speak. That is part of your DNA. But it's not specific to flint knapping. It's just some people have better hand-eye coordination and stuff like that. It's not specific to flint knapping. It's just in general they have the ability to manipulate objects in ways that are more productive than some other people can do it. I'm lucky that, you know, I have the ability to do many different crafts. I got that from both my mother and my father. My mother was an artist, and my dad, in his hobby time, was a woodworker. So they both were crafty. Yeah. Kind of like music. Musicians, children from musician families have a higher level of ability, natural ability in music. But it doesn't come naturally. They have to be exposed to it. And then their propensity to be good at it starts to come out. But it's not specific only to music. There are exceptions. I'm thinking there are exceptions there are people who are savants, right, that are especially gifted in music and especially gifted at memorization and especially gifted at certain specific things. So I think maybe some people are especially gifted. They call those savants. They just have a special gift for one specific thing. That might be the exception. But it's kind of rare to have those types of abilities. So you can't generalize and say that everybody was a flint knapping or everybody is a flint knapping savant. I don't know. Throwcessive says, my forte is making no spin throwing knives. Oh yeah, I think I might have seen videos like that. I think I might have seen your channel. If you have a channel, it sounds familiar now that you mention it. Sometimes people's usernames on the YouTube don't really reflect what they do, but in this case, I think I remember you. Yeah, idiot savant. The idiot savant is not someone who's especially good at being an idiot, although there are those too. The idiot savants are lopsided brains. They're really good at something, but really bad at other things. Yeah. Some people are exceptionally good at being idiots, but that's not what that means. I don't know. It still looks lopsided, but we're gonna work on this. We got time. I wasn't supposed to work on this the whole time, but you know how it goes. You know, it always goes this way. Even though I try not to have it go this way, I want to make more than one thing in the live stream. But it doesn't seem to work that way. Especially if I run into problems. Those special things in Flintknapping called problems. I need to look back in the chat and see if people actually responded to my diagram. Some people might think that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Dude, bro, ease up. Chill. It doesn't matter if it's called a ladle or a ladle dart. It's all the same. Yeah. Chill, bro. Okay, I'll chill. Still wrong though. All right, so I took a flake off right where that earlier strep fractures were. It looks even better now. So I'm still not quite, well, it might look like some of these. I'm still a little bit too wide at the top, but I like it. I like it wide at the top. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't be step fracturing with the pressure flake. These tips are not pointy, or are they? They're all arched. They're not needle tipped, I don't think. I can hear someone's AC unit going outside. That sound is kind of driving me nuts. Let's see. Yeah, I'm grinding it in the wrong way. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. How do you grind it in the wrong way? I'm grinding it in a way that makes it harder to run flakes in this direction. I was grinding it to try to do something else. You know, I was trying to use the grinding to change the outline, but then it puts the edge in the wrong. I was putting the edge in the wrong direction because I don't want to. I don't want to flake this side. I want to flake that side, mostly, with the pressure flakes. I don't know if you know what I mean. It doesn't matter. Right. I'll have a long question and answer session. How's that? Like I did last night. I thought it was pretty good. Last night there were some good questions. So save up your questions. I'm going to spend the last 15 minutes or so answering questions only. I think we're almost done with this. There's not too much more left to get to the center of this Tootsie Pop. In fact, I might finish sharpening this off camera because it just takes too much time. It takes me a long time to make it look like I only spent 15 minutes on it. It'll take me 45 minutes to make it look like I spent 15 minutes on it. How's that? Well, if you're good at making these efficiently, you don't take off that many flakes. But in order for me to not take off too many flakes, I've got to plan each and every flake so I don't mess it up. Because if I mess up taking off a big flake, that means I got to take a couple more to fix it. It ends up looking like there's too many flakes compared to how someone would do it more efficiently. So then I got to go back and see if I can actually put in fewer flakes over the top of all the other flakes. So I'm just, in that situation, I'm just going over the top with a pass of bold flakes to make it look like that's how it was originally. Yeah. Got it? No? It's okay. Just grind it already, dude. Come on, grind it. It's done. Stop picking it. It's like you're picking your nose. It's driving me nuts. And I can't get the boogers out. I can't get that last little booger that's down deep in the nose. These boogers on these flakes are down deep. I don't know. I don't want to take too much off. See, to make it look more like this one, see how the edge is dropped down? I don't know. Mine looks more like this one up here than that one. See, this one has more edge taken off the top part. But I don't like it like that. I don't like it like that. I like it like this. Yeah. Because all these up here have fat tops. And this one kind of has a fat top too. This one's different. I just like the flaking on that one. Okay? So that's it. Hell gap. Except for the grinding. Let's do that. And I'm pretty sure it's ground up pretty high. Pretty high? Pretty high. How high is it? It's pretty high. Oh, this is the round file. That's my favorite. I'm not going to waste my favorite on this. My favorite's supposed to be for notching. No, and just wait. This is probably not supposed to be ground this much. Yeah, but I think the bases are ground. Stems are ground. The basal area is usually ground. Yeah. So there. Okay. And these are actual size ones, so mine's pretty big compared to the actual size. Okay? So these are actual size. Mine's bigger than that actual size. But people like them a little bit oversized. If I'm selling this in the auction, they'd like it like this. Yeah. That's what I found out over time. People like stuff that can be displayed well. Yeah. So yeah. And you just need to attach this to a spear with a deeper notch. And it works good. And sometimes these little darts are called spears, but that's not the type of spear I'm talking about. This type of blade with a long stem is good for handheld spears or knives. You know, you can hold it like a knife. You don't even need to wrap this because it's been dulled. You just hold it like this for a knife. Just plain stone. So this could be a stone knife, just like this. Or you can haft it to the end of a spear. Deeper than that. About that deep. You know, a lot of wrapping. It's very strong haft with a long stem like that. As long as it's thick right here so it doesn't snap. I think this is a little bit too thin for this style. But I made it thinner because I had to remove some nasty spots. Okay? Can we see the flake scars? It's hard to see it on this. It's hard to see the flake scars on this for some reason. Okay. So that's it. I like the way it turned out. Yeah. Okay. We'll just put it right there. What do we got going on in the chat? Let's do some Q&A. We got like 13 minutes left. Aaron Wilson, what kind of point in human history do you think mankind would have perished were it not for the invention and advancement of overshot technology? At what point in human history do you think mankind would have perished if it were not for the invention and advancement of overshot? I hope you're kidding. Because overshot is incidental, not intentional. It is intentional nowadays because people want to do a performance. But back in the day, you don't nap for performance. You try to thin something, and one of the consequences of thinning is overshot flakes. Same as step fractures, same as crushing the edge, same as ring cracks. All that stuff is incidental as part of thinning. Okay, these are all mistakes. Overshots and diving flakes, reverse hinges, all that stuff is the result of mistakes due to thinning. They're all incidental. Now you can intentionally make crushings, you can intentionally make step fractures, you can intentionally make reverse hinges, you can intentionally make ring cracks, you can intentionally make overshots. That doesn't mean that that's a technology. Just because you can intentionally do it. People do that intentionally just to follow a narrative. Okay? There's some guys that can do overshots on purpose for the narrative. But they're not useful. They're kind of showy. Okay? I've showed it over and over again. That overshots are not good. Now, you may be kidding, so. All right. Let me look at the chat. Let's see here. Oh, Aaron Wilson was kidding. Okay, you got me on that one. See, I can't tell if you're kidding or not. Yeah. The text doesn't make a funny voice when you're kidding. High Lime says, would a good napped blade be worth more in food today or back then? Probably today. It'd be worth more today because it's not a common skill. I think even though not everyone did Flintknapping back in the day, it was more common as a skill than today. So the reason why this is more valuable today is because not very many people have this skill. Okay, so it's worth more today in food than it was back then. Just because it's a rare skill that people like to collect. It just so happens people like to collect these. So it is a happy coincidence or a fortunate circumstance. Throwcessive, I'm impressed by your removal of that ugly mess that showed itself. Skills. Thank you, thank you. So how do you connect it to the main shaft? By socket. The foreshaft is connected to the main shaft by socket. It's similar to this. I'll show you. This is an Ishii style arrow shaft with a socket in the front. This is an arrow shaft, but they do the same on atlatl darts with foreshafts. You drill it out with a stone drill. Imagine that. When you find stone drills, some of them are used to make these sockets in the main shaft, whether arrows or atlatl darts or spears. Okay, and you just insert the foreshaft and you glue it in, or a friction fit. Okay, this is a reproduction of an Ishii, the Indian arrow, except he used blue instead of black. I didn't have blue at the time when I painted this, but he used blue instead of black, so his arrows had blue and red instead of black and red. But the dimensions are the same as one of his arrows. The nock is almost the same. I got to widen this out to the width of the string. The depth is good, but I got to widen that notch to be the type of notch that Ishii used. And the foreshaft and all that is the same dimensions as one of his arrows. Right? This is natural sinew on the front to prevent it from splitting. Okay. And this is how you attach the foreshaft to the main shaft, whether it's an atlatl dart or an arrow or a spear. But there's different ways. You don't have to have a tang with a shoulder. It can just be unshouldered as well. But Ishii used shoulders on his. Okay. Let's see here. Darn spell checker. Uh-oh. Demand is lower too. Highlime says demand is lower. I don't know. A good nap blade would be more, yeah, it's worth more in food today. But demand is lower too, no? No, demand is not lower because it's rarer. Demand is actually higher because it's more rare. There are a lot more people who are collectors and admirers of this than there are nappers. The general public does like arrowheads and stone knives. There's a lot more people that like these. Even normies like this stuff. But as far as people who actually do the knapping, it's pretty rare as a percentage of the population. So that's what makes them valuable. The Feathered Frontiersman, hey Pat, sorry I've been gone the past couple of days. My job has gotten the better of me. I did nap a couple of points yesterday though. Awesome. Let's see, while it's necessity for a majority of humanity, it has a much larger artistic value. Yeah, wow, I had no idea. Okay. Glenn says he had no idea. Jeff Jin, I appreciate what you do, Patrick. Great presentation as always. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Jesse Garcia's here. He just made it at the end of the live stream. Hello. Jesse Garcia, right? You sent me a Osage stave. Let's see. Right? I think this is it. This is the next one I'm going to be working on. Right? Let me know if I got this right. I'll be working on this next. I've already worked on some elm bows, and I got one black locust bow in the works. But I need to break this up into. I might be able to get two bows, one normal one and one tiny, maybe a weak one. Yeah, get a belly split off of this, so I can make two bows. Let's see. Throwcessive says, I'm in a good area to find artifacts. Canton, Georgia. Awesome. North Florida Knapping asks me, how many nappers do you think there are in the U.S. total? We were discussing it the other day. I thought maybe a few thousand. Yeah. 3,000? That seems like a good estimate, I guess. Let me think here. On some of the most popular napping channels, you get about 1,000 people watching every video, at least, right? How many of those are actual nappers? This is hard to judge. If you divide it in number of states, 100 per state, that's 5,000, right? 50 times 100. There's easily 100 nappers per state, or maybe not. Some states might have more than that, some much less. I know Vermont doesn't have very many, probably got 4 or 5. So I would say, I don't know, 20 nappers per state minimum on the average. So that's 1,000 people that are actual nappers. A lot of newbies. You got to draw a line somewhere between an actual napper and a newbie that can't really nap. So I don't know. I would say 5,000 people actually breaking rocks. But good nappers, maybe 1,000. Glenn says, typical white guy. I thought an arrow was an arrow. No idea there was so much involved. Yeah, I know. I know the feeling. Pat, when should elm be harvested? Early winter, as soon as the leaves fall off. Yeah. And you can coppice elm. So if you cut it down close to the ground, maybe not all the way to the ground, but close, like maybe have 2 to 4 inches sticking up, it'll sprout new stuff next year. But you have to cut it when it's dormant. As soon as the leaves fall off and they've been off for maybe a month, you cut it, it'll be dormant. And in the spring, it'll wake back up and start shooting up more branches. And you can get several elm staves that way off of the same tree. So I harvest or gather most of my stuff in early winter, before the first big snow. There can be snow on the ground, but, wait till there's don't wait until there's a bunch of snow. Feathered Frontiersman says, I think there's more than that. It's becoming more popular with the social media explosion. Yeah, I know. So yeah, it might be more. What counts as a napper, though? Like skilled or just anybody? Because I'm a napper in the sense that I nap rocks into rubble. Yeah, you got to draw a line between people that can actually make something that is from the archaeological record and people who are just making flakes. Nappers that can do what they used to do in the past is where you probably should draw a line. Can you make something that looks like something from the past? If you can, then you're a napper. And yeah, there are pretty crude points in the past, but that counts. As long as you can make something that looks like it's from the past, you're a napper. Yeah. That's it. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. And I still think there's only about 5,000 in that case. Let's see. There are 6 within 10 miles of my house, says Lance. Lance McElwain. Yeah. Well, let's see. I used to attend a napping group when I lived in Midland, Texas. So yeah, there was like 6 of them within 10 miles from my house there too. But it's regional. It's unusual that you have a concentration of nappers that live next to each other within 10 miles. It's unusual. Like here in Vermont, I would need to travel. Let's see, the closest napper that I know of personally is like 3 hours away from me. Okay. And I think there's maybe 1 or 2 that are closer than that up here in the Northeast. I think 3 hours is a good distance between nappers up here. 2 hours, I guess, maybe. Not 10 minutes. Or 10 miles, yeah. The Feathered Frontiersman, I've only ever walked up to one other napper in Oregon. Nice guy. I still have his point from that day. We traded. Awesome. Let's see. Glenn says, and you, my friend, will interest more to the art. Throwcessive, I am an expert level rubblesmith. Awesome. Welcome. We all start that way. Highline, about all I did for the first 2 years or so. Less a napper and more of a gravel manufacturer. Yeah, just a random Bigfoot says that. So I say I'm a novice. Eric Kitty. I managed to produce a point out of translucent smoky quartz today, says Throwcessive. Wow. Smoky quartz is not an easy thing to nap. Glenn says you can create a usable piece twice your napper. If you can create a usable piece twice your napper. Okay. I'll agree with that. The Feathered Frontiersman. I did teach a class of primitive skills on the Shoshone Reservation and a number of nappers. I say you're not a hunter until you can nap, and you're not a napper until you have successfully hunted. Really? I don't know. Some people don't like hunting animals for ethical reasons, but they can still be good nappers. And some people are expert hunters, but they can't nap. You don't call them a non-hunter. Bigfoot, I don't know how to, but yeah, I'm just now realizing how much stone I'm going to do. Yeah. Hope the stave makes you a good bow. This stave has been seasoning for a while. It looks pretty good. I'm going to get it on video. Don't worry. Throwcessive says, it's hard as hell to nap. Yeah. Like I said, you got to be able to stand the torture. Yeah. I'm prior military and I was tortured. Yeah. When I went through officer candidate school, they dogged us mentally and physically. Let's see, the class started out with 130 something, 118 is what I remember our OCS class, 118 candidates. We graduated 32. They couldn't hack it. So it's rare to find someone that can stand the torture. And that has to do with, it relates to Flintknapping as well. Got any big projects coming up, says Highline? Big projects? Like making big blades? One of my biggest projects is to convince people that big blades are overrated. Does that count? That's one of my big projects. And also one of my big projects is to make sure people call at ladles, and at ladle darts, and that there's no such thing as overshot tech. This is my big project right here. All of this can be summed up as one big project right there. Okay? You can't judge rocks by the cover. And fast causes fudging. They think that fudging means low skill. No such thing as overshot tech. And there's a difference between that ladle and that ladle dart. That's my project. Oops. Highline says you always have an axe to grind. Oh yes, always. That's the spice of life. People think variety is a spice of life. No, grinding axes is the spice of life. Nah, just general crafting like bows. Okay. No, I don't consider bows big projects. Let's see. Bill Taylor's here. Howdy, everybody. I just got home in time to stop in and say hi and hit the like button. Yeah, I forgot to hit the like button on my own live stream. Throcessive says OCS is gnarly. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You get to meet your inner self. And you don't shake hands. When you meet your inner self, you're slapping each other the whole time. Yeah. You don't believe me? Let's see. Just a random Bigfoot. I was wondering what you thought the oval-shaped Levallois flakes were used for. I can't seem to understand why you would make so much debitage just to get the same edge as any other flake. Well, the Levallois flakes are large. They're larger than the other flakes. The other flakes were utilized, right? But you make a lot of debitage no matter what you're Flintknapping. So that's not a thing, really, to say there's a lot of debitage. Because it happens no matter what. Advanced nappers, very primitive nappers, intermediates, there's always lots of debitage. You got to keep that in mind, right? The Levallois flake is large and flat. It's not curved. It's not curved in a way that's not useful. So I demonstrated one day how I thought the Levallois flakes were hafted. Because I think they were hafted. They have found asphaltum and birch tar and stuff like that on some of these Levallois blades. Flakes, I mean, not blades. Scratch the blades. On Levallois flakes, there are some indications of either asphaltum or birch tar, I can't remember which, attached. And they think maybe they were put on spears, but I don't think so. You just take a blob of glue, either birch tar or asphaltum glue, right? Big blob of glue like this, and you knock a Levallois flake off of the core, you know, one of those big round ones with those jagged edges, and you sink it into a big blob of glue. Let's just pretend this is a Levallois flake. You just sink it in a big blob of glue like this. And you mold the glue into the handle. Like this. And you use that as a knife. A big old knife. I mean, those Levallois flakes are not that big. The cores themselves are usually about softball size. So, it's, you know, I should get another flake, but let's see. Let's try this. Something that resembles the rough shape of a Levallois flake. And you just get a blob of glue. Neanderthals knew how to make birch tar that was, you know, sticky and moldable like this. Because there is a process. And you just stick it on the end. You melt, or this is modeling clay, right? It's easy to manipulate without heat. But you just warm up the glue and you blob it on the side, and now you have a knife. That's how I think they were used. Okay, the glue becomes the handle on a Levallois flake. And that side gets dull, you take this off and you stick it on the other side. That's dull. And now you've got a fresh edge. And if you want to sharpen it, you just kind of hit it with a stone or make another flake. Explore map. Let's see. Let me look at the chat. I got another good question, it looks like. You don't always have to use glue to haft a blade, right? That's correct. You don't always have to. Stone faces, I guess I'm a napper. I took 300-pound boar with a stone tip adel dart and finished it off with a stone tip thrusting spear, and I napped the points. Awesome. You are multi-talented. Yes, yes. That's awesome, truly. Someone said there's a video on it. Ooh, I'll have to check that video out. I always figured they were just used as hand as knives or scrapers. What video? What video are you talking about? A friend of mine tried making pitch glue, but his came out pretty brittle, so I gave him a few suggestions to fix and make it a better batch, but he isn't trying again for now. I see. If your pitch glue is too brittle, you can add pine tar, the gooey liquid pine tar, to the pine rosin that's brittle. Mix them together. It makes the pine rosin more flexible. I think Donnie Dust did that glue video, said TJ. Okay, I didn't see that glue video. Donnie Dust and I don't agree on everything. And one of the things we don't agree on is the what I call the poop glue culture. There's no archaeological evidence for poop glue back in the past. The poop glue is a modern thing, and the one that I saw him making glue in, he used scat, animal poop, basically. I'm not part of that culture. No. Just a random Bigfoot says, you've inspired me to go and put a handle on one of my Levallois flakes. Cool. Yeah, do it like that. It looks like an ulu knife, coincidentally. I wonder where they got the idea for ulu knife. So yeah, you just put a blob of glue on one side and then try using it. You'll see how effective it is when it's got a fresh edge. Fresh from removing it from the core. Stick it on like this onto a big blob of glue. And you can see how awesome it is as a knife. So I've got this is real asphaltum, but it's highly stiff and brittle. So I mix it with gum base. This is very stiff. It also can break up and be brittle. You got to warm it up and mix it with some other type of material to increase the flexibility. Now, usually you just use a gum from a tree. That's why I use gum base. Anything sticky actually can be mixed with asphaltum if you're using asphaltum. If you're using birch tar and birch glue, it's much easier to attain a mass of glue like this. I'm saving up a bunch of birch bark to make a bunch of birch tar glue. Birch tar comes in various forms. It can be watery and gooey, or it can be stiff like this, or it can be extremely stiff and brittle and, breakable and crumbly, depending on how long you heat it. Okay? All right. See, combination of tar and parts? Yeah. Chewing gum be used if necessary? Yes, chewing gum is the easiest alternative. You can mix chewing gum with any type of pine rosin or asphaltum or any kind of glue, natural hot melt glue. You can mix bubble gum with it. That's basically gum base, right? Now you can also use gum with sugar and not just the sugar-free gum. Just so you know. How do I know? I don't know. You can also melt sugar itself, just plain cane sugar, and use that as glue, as a hafting glue, as a hot melt hafting glue. Yeah, you can use basically straight cane sugar mixed with a little bit of water in a pan and wait for it to get gooey and use it as a glue. It's a good hot melt. I mean, I don't know about good, but it's at least as good as pine pitch, which I don't like. And you can mix bubble gum with the sugar to make it a little more flexible. Yeah, lots of bazooka gun works, yes. Yeah, bazooka gum does work. A binder the cane would be. A binder the cane would be. I don't know. You don't need a binder. That's part of modern culture. If you look in the archaeological record, they did not use binders in the past for their glues. But you don't need to trust me. You just go look it up. I'm not part of binder culture or poop glue culture. Too much heat will ruin the pitch. Oh, yes. Let's see here. Any other questions? Just the random Bigfoot. Speaking about glue, I've noticed my pine pitch melts in direct sunlight, like 90 degrees. Do you think that's a problem people had in the past with their points? Yes. That's a definite problem. And how do I know this? I've studied Ishi the Indian a lot, right? One thing that he did, he used straight pine pitch for his arrowhead glue on his arrows, on the arrowheads. The trick is he didn't haft his points on his arrows until a few hours before the hunt. Okay? And that means after the hunt, he removed the arrowheads from the shafts, from the foreshafts. And then when he went hunting again, he stuck the arrowheads back on. So he didn't keep the arrowheads on the arrows, in other words, because that's the problem. If you keep the arrowheads on the arrows for long periods of time, that glue is going to seep out all over the place. You need to clean that glue off and leave it headless until you actually go hunting, and then you attach the points. That's what he used to do to get over that problem. Okay? All right. Let's see. Can you just use fruit stripe gum to derail a train? I have no idea. Probably not. Unless you use, several hundred pounds. Anything several hundred pounds big can derail a train, I suppose. Let's see. Eric Kitty says, if I can get my hands on some fire clay, I'll definitely be making a burn jar for several purposes. Can be used to make a charcoal and would be good for making pitch glue. Yeah, but you can make pitch glue without a burn jar. Oh, yes. I mean, would it be a good wood to use? Let's see, what is this? Explore Florida. Can you use false cedar for making bows? Would it be a good wood to use? False cedar? I've never heard of false cedar. I know that there's certain types of similar woods, like I've tried to make a bow out of fir, but the bow has to be really long. So and some cedar works well for bows, but some does not. Cypress works good, relatively speaking, for bows. Juniper works well, I think. Juniper is one of the best bow woods. It's one of my favorites. But you have to harvest it or gather it from a certain part of the tree, depending on the species. Like, I like ash juniper from bows. It's one of my favorites. They call it cedar in Texas, but it's called ash juniper. And I gather the wood from the top of the tree, not the trunk near the ground. But I look up. The top of the tree has more sapwood, by volume. There's not much heartwood. The heartwood in the ash juniper is terrible. So I look up into the tree, and if I see a straight piece up near the top, that's where I get my bows from with ash juniper. Ishi the Indian got his bows from limbs that would come off from the trunk. He wouldn't cut the trunk. He would find a limb that was the right shape and cut the bow stave from the limb. So you get the idea, right? It's always best to gather your own green and age it yourself. Let's see, the Iceman had arrows with no points on them. Yes, that's true. Hoko knife, says Jeff Jin. Components. It consists of a sharp stone flake such as flint, obsidian, etc. Hafted into a split wooden handle, traditionally cedar, but also overlit oak. Yeah. Hoko knife. Okay. Unsubscribed Ink says, yes, TJ, lots of projectiles were sharpened shafts. No, that's not what he meant. Utsi, the Iceman, had arrow shafts in his quiver with no arrowheads on them. But I think they were also in the rough state. To be fair, those arrow shafts were kind of crooked. Or not crooked, because they get crooked over time. It's thousands of years old. But they were wonky, like they were not straightened. To be fair. But he did cut notches in the top. So they may have been okay. I don't know. False juniper. Yeah, I never heard of it. Feather frontiersman. With Rocky Mountain juniper, it is a special growth where good bow staves are. It's more round and lower in the valley for some reason. Yeah, I was looking at some juniper when I went to New Mexico, to Taos. They got lots of pinyon pine and mountain juniper, or some kind of juniper up there. I looked at them both. The juniper I saw was too crooked and too small to be bows. But I was only looking at new growth. I suppose if I was in an old growth juniper forest, I could find some good bow wood. Which is what I want to do eventually. I guess that is Rocky Mountain juniper. Taos is at a very high elevation, so I think it also stunts the growth of trees up at that elevation, as well as, lack of water. Let's see. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night. Yep. No more questions. That's it. All right. The point I made tonight will be in the auction. In case you're wondering, some people want to buy these things, so yeah. I have an auction every Monday, so check it out Monday. I made this one yesterday. So this is an agate basin, and this one is Hell Gap. You can see they both have long stems, but the Hell Gap has a concavity. You know what I mean? And the agate basin is either convex or straight on the sides. And I think the agate basin is also supposed to be a thick point. I think these are both supposed to be thick points, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. But yeah, they're similar, and probably similar in function. Okay. Explore Florida says, yes, juniper, they're commonly called fall cedars. Okay, good to know. TJ says, a YouTuber called Flair has a property with lots of Osage orange on it. Yeah, I know a guy that has lots of Osage orange and juniper on his property in Texas. Oh, yes. I'm going to go visit him in October. But he doesn't know it yet. He just invited me over there, and I haven't told him exactly when I'm going to go. But I'm going to go in October. Nathaniel, if you're watching, that's my plan. Okay, everybody, good night. Take care. Good to see everybody. Yeah. I see you guys were talking to each other a lot in the stream. That's fine. Okay. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.